the horror is so direct and so physical. So what were you interested in making horror with that approach?
I don't know. I mean, the horror is so direct. I suppose, I don't know. As I'm writing, I just try and think about what would be my favorite thing to see next. And so, that's kind of my rule from page to page to page is like, what would be my favorite thing to happen? And so this is just kind of a result of that. So I didn't have any kind of mission statement about the horror. It just kind of occurred. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that question. I'm sorry.
No problem. And in Barbarian, you actually shifted perspectives, but here the fragmentation is so much complex. So what interested you into pushing that idea to the limit?
I'd never seen a movie that had the structure in the way that Weapons did. And I knew I wanted to be able to shift perspectives, but I also knew I didn't want to do what Barbarian did, where when Barbarian jumps, you feel disoriented and you wonder if maybe the movie has kind of abandoned you or the movie is broken or something's wrong here, right? And I knew with Weapons, it was like, I want to be jumping around, but I want everyone to know exactly where in the story they are. I didn't want any of these jumps to feel disorienting. I wanted them to feel like it was a gathering of momentum. And so I knew it was going to be a difficult thing to pull off, to stay loyal from chapter to chapter to chapter. But if I could do it, I think it would be the best version of itself. So that was a really hard process of writing this thing, to keep that structure intact.
What do you think that domestic environment, such as schools, homes, is such an unsettling place for horror to happen?
Well, I think it's because we all live in these environments our entire lives. And so, if I'm out in space and I'm, fighting a monster, that's not anything anybody can really relate to. But the idea of your suburban elementary school of being the site of terror is, we are all at some point in our lives going to be in that place. And so we can relate to it very easily. So, the neighborhood where this movie takes place is very similar to the neighborhood I grew up in, So, they say write what you know, and this is kind of where I come from.
This movie kind of scares more adults than kids in the movie. So can you think of a movie that maybe clicked you as an adult that maybe didn't horrify you as a kid?
What a good question. Yeah, what scared me as an adult but not as a kid? Man, I think Picnic at Hanging Rock is like a movie that I didn't see it as a kid, but if I did, it wouldn't have bothered me at all. But seeing that movie as an adult, it's very disturbing. I think The Virgin Suicides is a really upsetting movie to see as an adult. The Vanishing, the Dutch Vanishing, that's a terrifying movie, but I think if I saw it as a kid, I wouldn't have really let it in. Funny Games, the first one, those sorts of things. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
Okay, thank you.